Hello class, my name is Ken Rosendahl. My final presentation for our class is about the education merits of video games. They're not just a form of entertainment. We live in a world where there is more to education these days than just reading textbooks, listening to lectures, working off of demonstrations on a chalkboard, or videotapes. With the advancements of computers, interactive programs, and the like, there are more forms of teaching our kids than ever before. And believe it or not, video games can be used as an educational tool or device in addition to just another form of entertainment for both kids and adults. One area that can benefit from using video games as part of a balanced education curriculum is special needs groups, because it makes essential skills easier to pick up, such as language skills, such as discussing ideas and sharing with each other, following directions, or even giving directions. Video games also help special needs students develop math skills by showing them an interactive form where they can see concepts as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division applied firsthand, so they can see them in action rather than just, seeing it, having it explained to them. Also, video games can help special needs kids develop social skills easier. This helps them develop things in common with their normally developed peers, as far as interacting with them, talking with them, and playing with them, because they have something in common. Video games such as World of Warcraft, Star Wars of the Knights of the Old Republic, or Star Wars the Old Republic, and other massively multiplayer online games teach kids and young adults vital skills such as teamwork, working towards a common goal, delegation of tasks. And studies have shown that a balanced curriculum that involves video games along with strong parent and teacher involvement have helped younger kids develop their reading and literacy skills at an earlier age than regular classroom-based curriculum. Also, video games offer a means of learning vital skills that kids can apply both in their education and older in during their life, such as pattern recognition. This happens a lot within puzzle games such as Candy Crush Saga or Bejeweled, where you have to match up certain colored shapes in order to score points and advance. Video games also offer time management skills like prioritizing tasks and making decisions on the fly. This is seen in strategy games, real-time strategy games like the StarCraft series, where you have to manage resources in order to build your base, you build units, and also reacting to situations within the game. And the timely reaction to them can affect whether or not you complete a task or not. They also help develop reaction time by forcing children and young adults to quickly adapt to situations, or they will fail. They also do this by encouraging kids to try the same area again if they don't complete a task like they're supposed to, or if they die while trying to complete a task. And video games offer a means of teaching kids, young adults, physics in particular, especially the games Portal 2. They teach concepts as gravity, momentum, trajectories, as part of solving puzzles that allow you to advance to the next area within the game. However, with the benefits of video games, there are those who feel that video games do not offer any educational merits and that they are harmful to kids. We're going to look at some of their arguments and as well as the evidence that refutes these arguments. The biggest one is video games. Violent video games cause violent behavior. An example of this claim was made shortly after the Columbine massacre. However, the FBI, from their investigation, found that there was really no link between violent video games and the actions that the two kids at Columbine took. In fact, some studies are actually showing that there's a decrease in violent crime and a correlation of video game sales, mainly because violent video games allow younger kids and adults an outlet to get violent urges and frustrations out of their system in a manner that is not harmful towards others. Another argument you hear is children are more likely to see violent video games or have access to violent video games than other forms of media. Quite honestly, this is not the case. In 2011, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, found that retailers are more likely to enforce video game ratings than they are to enforce the parental advisory sticker on CDs or the ratings on movies or selling questionable books or comic books to minors. Another argument is video games cause social interaction problems with young kids and adults, mainly because they're spending more time playing video games by themselves than they are interacting with their peers, and thus are losing opportunities to develop social skills. And quite honestly, research has really disproven that claim. In fact, even recent video games, first-person video games, shooter games, which are usually the more violent video games, are offering means of solving problems or advancing other than resorting to excessive violence. These video games are also offering children a chance to view and take part in moral dilemmas, where a decision that a player makes in a game will have consequences throughout the rest of the game. And also, newer games also offer differing viewpoints, so the player can actually see more than just one side of a given situation and can understand the circumstances of each side and thus view things in a different light. In conclusion, video games, like any form of media, do offer educational properties for kids and adults when used in a developed curriculum and involvement of parents and teachers. They can teach young adults and kids valuable skills at an earlier age than what is taught in schools, which can help them advance in their education quicker. The argument that violent video games are harmful to kids, quite honestly, is not true. In fact, violent video games sales are more closely monitored than any other form of media. And there really is no serious link between violent video games and increased crime. Honestly, the opposite has been shown. And if you want further proof that video games are not the bane of society like a lot of conservative groups think they are, I'm a prime example. I've grown up on a steady diet of violent video games such as Mortal Kombat, Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein 3D, and violent movies. And I grew up to be a law-abiding citizen, gainfully employed, continuing my education. I'm involved with family and social causes. So, quite honestly, video games, they are just another tool that can be used for the education of both kids and adults. They aren't just a mindless form of entertainment.